This is Skip Unleashed, and I am about to unleash on Micah Parsons, who just unleashed on me on the Open Thoughts podcast featuring Funny Marco. This is what Micah Parsons said about me. He said, and I quote, "Fuck Skip Bayless." And I quote, Micah said about me that I'm a Twitter finger ass motherfucker, afraid to say to Micah's face what I say to him on shows, on videos, on X or Twitter. Micah Parsons, I challenge you to meet me face to face on whatever venue you choose. We can do home and home. You can do my new show, Arena Gridiron, and I'll do your podcast. Arena Gridiron exploded through the NFL season, and we will continue to do it at least once a week through the off season. So you would be more than welcome to come on Arena Gridiron with me, with Aqib Talib, or I'll come on your podcast. I'll fly to meet you face to face, just as I recently did with Draymond Green. You should check out that Draymond Green show that I did just a week ago here in Los Angeles. We went 2.5 hours, Micah, Draymond and I, face to face in front of a live studio audience. 2.5 hours of back and forth about all of our differences, all the shots that Draymond has taken at me and all the shots I had taken at Draymond. We hashed it out. We confronted face to face, eye to eye, man to man. Check it out. And I now challenge you to do exactly the same. You call it. Let's do home and home. Your podcast, my podcast. We can do the Skip Bayless show one-on-one as a podcast. I don't care, because I'm going to say right to your face, this Twitter ass motherfucker, Twitter finger ass motherfucker, I'll say right to your face what I've always said about you, Micah Parsons. I'll tell you exactly what I've always said about you, face to face, eye to eye, man to man, Micah Parsons. You and I, let's do it. Let's go. And I will remind you to your face, eye to eye, man to man, that for my Dallas Cowboys, in 4 playoff games, you had 1 sack. And it came late in a game you were actually winning. You lost the other 3, but you were actually winning one of those 4 playoff games at Tampa against the 8-9 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, featuring 45-year-old Tom Brady playing his very last NFL game. You were ahead 31-14 late in that game, very late in that game with under a minute left, and you managed to register 1 sack, your lone sack as a Dallas Cowboy in 4 playoff games. You actually sacked 45-year-old Tom Brady. Way to go, Micah. I loved it. And your final playoff game as a Dallas Cowboy came at home as the 2 seed against these 7-seeded Packers you now play for. And in that game, you were favored to win by 7 points. And Micah, you no-showed. You completely no-showed. You registered across the board 0 stats. You were down 27-0 in the first half. You lost 48-22, and you had no stats in that game because you no-showed. And I stood and applauded Jerry Jones for trading your ass, because, as I continue to say, over your last 2 years, you became a liability against the run. And in your final season as a Dallas Cowboy, in which you missed the playoffs, There were a couple early games at home, New Orleans at home, then Baltimore at home, and the 2 Eagles games home and away. Your team got run off the field. Your team was the worst run defense in all of football because you were a liability against the run. And as soon as Jerry Jones traded you, he did a press conference in which he openly, publicly acknowledged, volunteered that you were a liability against the run. He said what I had been saying for 2 years, that a major reason that you were traded to Green Bay was you were a liability against the run. That you never became the leader that he wanted you to become. And the great irony was the last session that you had, Micah, with Jerry Jones took place in his office in the offseason before you were traded, in which he did want to talk to you about your lack of leadership. You're just not a leader, Mike. I'll say this to your face. I'll say it right now to you via video. Not a natural-born leader. A lot of talent, no leadership talent, no intangibles. And in that last session in Jerry's office, despite the fact that you're not a leader, he did plunge. He went ahead and offered you guaranteed money beyond what you got in Green Bay, but he doesn't like to deal with your agent, Micah. And you didn't do business as Jerry calls it, the way he has always done it in the oil fields. He's a handshake guy. He's an eye-to-eye, man-to-man handshake guy, is Jerry Jones. That's how he does business. He offered you more than you wound up getting, but you had to just reach across the table and shake his hand. No, instead of shaking his hand, you said, no, I got to talk to my agent. I got to make sure You blew it, Micah, and to this day, you still regret that you blew it. You still regret that you're not any longer a Dallas Cowboy because you love being a Cowboy in Dallas for America's team. You love the cachet it provided you in the off seasons. And you blew it, Micah, and you regret it. And I'll never forget the back and forth that you had with the great DeMarcus Lawrence. Remember that? DeMarcus chose to leave Dallas, chose to sign with Seattle. Jerry should have kept him, not you, should have kept him. And remember what DeMarcus said when he got up to Seattle to their website reporter? He said, Dallas is home and will forever be home, but I know for sure I'm never going to win a Super Bowl there. That's what he said as he landed and did his first interview with the Seahawks website. I know I'll never win a Super Bowl in Dallas, said DeMarcus Lawrence, and you immediately tweeted at him, you Twitter-ass motherfucker, you tweeted at him, this some clown shit. This is what rejection and envy look like, is what you said, tweeted at Micah, at DeMarcus Lawrence. This is what rejection and envy look like. No, really, Micah, it's what you look like. Rejection and envy is what you look like from a distance in Green Bay because you still want to be a Dallas Cowboy. You cannot let it go because it hasn't let you go. You know you blew it, and so now you're trying to blame me for it. It's my fault. Fuck Skip Bayless, you say. You Twitter finger-ass motherfucker. You did it to me. I'm the reason you're no longer in Dallas. Fuck me, said Micah Parsons. Remember what Malik Hooker said about you, Micah? He was on my friend Keyshawn Johnson's podcast. This was in June of 2024, and this is the first shot that a veteran teammate took at you. He said, my advice to Micah Parsons will be just make sure we're all right, meaning the team is all right. If the run defense is terrible, said Malik Hooker, but you're doing a podcast every week and you know the run defense is terrible, what are you really caring about? Ask Malik Hooker on air with Keyshawn Johnson about you, Micah Parsons. He asked that about you. What are you really caring about? Your podcast or your football team? Winning or not? How did DeMarcus Lawrence finally respond to you via X? What did he tweet at you? Maybe if you spent less time tweeting and more time winning, I wouldn't have left. Kaboom. Veteran teammates taking shots at you about podcasting and tweeting. You fired back at Malik Hooker that just wish you'd said that to me face to face instead of on some podcast. And you got my number, fam. He said, family. You my locker mate, he said to you, Malik Hooker. That was late June of 2024, but you had the guts, Malik Hooker, to break the ice on this, to say what everybody in the locker room is saying. Well, if he cared more about fixing the run defense, about winning football games than podcasting or tweeting, maybe we'd have a chance. Jerry Jones finally said, no, Micah cares more about other things than winning Super Bowls. I can't pay him by far the most guaranteed money. I think Jerry looked at that moment, that flashpoint moment in his office as heaven sent, that you didn't reach across the desk and shake his hand and condemn him to make a move that he knew he shouldn't have made, which is making you the highest paid defensive player in the history of the National Football League. Jerry knew that you, Micah, saved him from himself that day. You, Micah, are what rejection and envy look like. Two of your veteran teammates took shots at you, and finally Jerry said, you know what? I'm looking at body of work. I'm looking at how bad we were against the run, and I'm out. I'm going to take the draft picks. I'm going to take Kenny Clark. I'm going to move on. Onward and upward, said Jerry Jones. And what happened last season when in game, week 5, you returned back to Jerry World to play the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Remember, Micah, what happened? The score was 40-40 in overtime, and I said the Cowboys won because everybody thought the Cowboys that night were about to get embarrassed because you were no longer a Cowboy and you were a Packer, and Jerry had committed an atrocity, a football atrocity. It was the worst trade this side of the Luka trade in Dallas. Maybe worse, a lot of people thought, than the Luka trade. How could you trade Micah Parsons? And here you came, Micah, with your Green Bay defense, and the Dallas Cowboys scored 40 on your ass, on your no-run playing ass. 40. And that night, 11 of your defensive teammates had more solo tackles than you did, Micah. 11. You had one solo. You had a couple of assisted tackles. You had 2 hits on the quarterback, and you were given 1 sack that you didn't deserve. It was an overtime play in which you chased down Dak Prescott at the line of scrimmage, but I thought he got beyond the line of scrimmage. I thought he at least gained a half a yard on that play. You just chased him down from behind. You blindsided him. You ambushed him from behind. Way to go, Micah. That's your forte, is chase down sacks when the quarterback doesn't see you coming, and you pulled that one off, and people said, oh, you saved the game, you saved a touchdown. No, you had 2 or 3 other teammates drawing beads on Dak. He was not going to score on that play, but you did get him just beyond the line of scrimmage, and they gave you a sack for it. Then on Arena Gridiron. We went back and forth about you. And my teammate on that show, Gerald McCoy, who made a whole bunch of Pro Bowls, is one of the best defensive tackles who ever played the game. He finally concluded about you after he watched you on a Monday Night Football game lose to the Eagles at Green Bay. He concluded what I've said all along, and Gerald McCoy said this on the air on Arena Gridiron. You should check it out. It's a hot show. Whew. Explosive views, impressions. There's nothing like it out there. But Gerald McCoy said that you, Micah, are not a physical football player. It's what I've said from the start, that you're all speed and quickness. You're all finesse. You can out-quick offensive linemen. You can outwit them by lining up in different places where they can't quite get ready for your explosive quickness and speed. You can do that. You can trick them. But it's hard for you to overpower because you're not a physical football player. You don't play with great killer instinct because you just weren't born with it. So what are you? You always are high in the league in what are called pressures, where you just kind of fly by the quarterback and wave at him and you get a pressure. But hits on quarterback, that night in Dallas, you did have the one quote-unquote sack, but you had 2 hits on the quarterback. You don't hit the quarterback enough. You don't wreak havoc. You don't wreck games. You did your first year when people weren't ready for you. But after your first year, I just haven't seen you wreck games consistently, or for that matter, at all. What are you? You're not athletically bendable the way the great ones are bendable, going back to Lawrence Taylor and obviously Von Miller and Charles Haley. And they're all bendable. They're flexible. They're gymnastic. They're big, strong men who can actually bend and athletically move in to hit the quarterback, not just fly by and quote-unquote pressure the quarterback. So what happened this year, your big game at Denver, big game, Super Bowl-ish kind of a showdown game. And what happened in the third quarter? Well, it happened to you, as you know all too well. You're rushing Bo Nix. He's juking. He makes a move, flinch. You go up, and you can't quite bend to get him. And I hated to see this happen to you because I don't like to see anybody get hurt for any reason, but you came down awkwardly because he sort of faked you out of your jock strap. You came down awkwardly and hit wrong, and your knee gave out. It was terrible for the Packers, terrible for the league. You're a big star, Micah. And you were gone for the rest of the year. And then I had to watch you in the Pro Bowl, the flag football Pro Bowl. You're out there on a scooter trying to put a flag on the scooter because you just can't stand to be out of the spotlight, can't stand to be hurt in a way. You just need that spotlight. And you're out there grandstanding and showboating and trying to take over the Pro Bowl on a scooter. It was the scooter Pro Bowl. That's what I remember the most, is that you're out there in the fourth quarter on a scooter trying to actually play in the game with a flag on your scooter. Just can't stand to be out of the spotlight. Well, I'll help. I'll put you right back in at any place, anytime. Let's you and I go one-on-one, face-to-face, eye-to-eye. All these things. I'm giving you my game plan. I'm telling you I'm divulging all my strategy. I'm telling you, I'm giving you all my ammo right up front. These are all the things I'm going to say to you. And finally, it was interesting to me and enlightening to me when Funny Marco asked you on the Open Thoughts podcast, where are you going to be in 5 years, maybe 10 years? But where do you see yourself? You immediately said you're going to be graduated from culinary school, that you want to be a chef. I didn't know that. I guess I haven't followed you closely enough. But that you see yourself having graduated from culinary school and you're going to be a chef. And it struck me that you didn't say, oh, in 5 years I'll have 2 Super Bowl rings at least, or 10 years I just want to be ready for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I didn't hear that. You didn't talk football. You talked about your love of cooking. Who knew? I didn't. Forgive me. But I'm sure somewhere Malik Hooker and DeMarcus Lawrence, as he eyes his finger for his Super Bowl ring, look at him now. Look at him now. But I'm sure they're sitting back saying, culinary school? Really? He wants to be a chef. He's talking about being a chef. Well, this is their issue. You've got other interests. Football is not the be-all and the end-all for you. It's a way to fame and fortune, but the fame and fortune are what matter to you, not the winning. This is what Green Bay is finding out about Micah Parsons. He's not going to ever be worth that much money because he doesn't live and breathe football. He's not a natural-born leader of a football team or a natural-born killer for a football team. Don't have those intangibles. Have other interests. Great. Love it. Intriguing. You want to be a cook, a chef. Great. My brother's one of the great chefs. Maybe I can connect you to him. He owns and operates numerous restaurants, most in Chicago. It's Obama's favorite restaurant. I could get you a reservation. It's hard to get one. I can get you one. I promise. I can get you an audience with my brother. Maybe he can help you and guide and direct you into your next career as a chef. I'm happy to do that. And I'm happiest just to meet you. Your turf or mine. You call it. Any day, anywhere, anytime you call it, I will be there and we will hash it out just the way Draymond and I did, face to face, eye to eye, man to man. I am here for you, Micah. Just give me the word and I will be there for you. And we will talk about fuck Skip Bayless and Twitter finger ass motherfucker, afraid to say it to your face. I'll be there. I'll see you soon.